Hey everyone, Andrigats here and welcome back to my channel! Today we're doing a deep dive into something truly special. This video contains glitches, clipping through invisible walls, secret tips, tons of WoW lore and some of Azeroth's most unexplained mysteries. There is something about uncovering hidden corners of the game that really fuels my love for WoW, and if you are here, I'm guessing it does the same for you. So grab your snacks, get comfy, and let's explore 3 forgotten and unseen secrets of World of Warcraft together. First up, we have the Whispering Forest, home to one of Azeroth's most enigmatic and atmospheric secrets, located to the west of Tearsfall Glades. In the center of the forest stands a ring of glowing mushrooms surrounded by a cloud of mist. At first, you might think, okay, what's so remarkable about it? Well, you just need to be patient. Every 15 minutes, the silence is broken by the appearance of 7 ethereal Fey Drag Daughters. These furry dragons show up one by one and fly erratically in the surrounding area of the mushroom ring. After a few minutes pass, the unexpected happens. They start gathering near the ring and something truly interesting takes place. They start singing, and yes, even the in-game music changes into an ethereal one. As they sing, beams of light channel from each darter, converging at the center of the ring to form something truly mesmerizing. And not only that, but the other animals of the glen, seemingly drawn to the enchanting lights and sounds, gather up near the circle. No one truly knows the significance of this event, as Blizzard has never actually explained it, but there are some theories. My favorite one is that the reason behind this ritual is an attempt to cleanse the forest of Zakaj's lingering corruption. Zakaj the Corruptor was a Sithrax, a powerful servant of the old god Yogg-Saron, who was killed by Khyber Tyr millennia ago. The fascinating thing is that this monstrous warbringer was buried with Tyr himself beneath Tearsfall, a craterous lake found within the Whispering Forest. Given the history of the old gods and their lingering corruption across Azeroth, this area could still harbor residual or even active corruption to this day. This idea gains further traction when we look at the events during Legion, using a very familiar dagger from the era of the Black Empire, and that's obviously none other than Xal'atath. Luckily for us, Shadow Priest claimed the dagger and at Xal'atath's order consumed the last remnants of this creature's powers. But can we really be certain that this act erased Zakaj's lingering essence forever? I also found some other notable speculations, especially about the origins of the Whispering Forest. One of them is that this particular area might be where the High Elves first set foot in the Eastern Kingdoms as described in the founding of Feralas. Others believe that this Whispering Forest could be connected somehow with the Emerald Dream, potentially even the Emerald Nightmare. And finally, based on the Day of the Dragon, some suggest that it could also be tied to the chamber occupied by Croesus, a red dragon and a former member of the Council of Six, the ruling body of Dalaran. And while I do like all of these theories, they don't really explain what the ritual stands for. Whatever the true purpose of this magical event is, it only lasts 3 minutes before the forest falls silent again. Just as suddenly as this mysterious event begins, it stops. The darters slowly fly away and fade out to whenever they happen to come from, and the animals wander off. And mind you, interestingly enough, this event used to occur every several hours, so it was quite rare to catch it. But since Warlords of Draenor, it's been reduced to every 15 minutes. Again, why would Blizzard update the frequency of such an event? No one really knows, but witnessing such an event is truly a magical moment. A fun tidbit, a druid toy called Nature's Beacon may teleport you to the very center of the mushroom circle, where the magic truly happens. Whatever mystery this ritual holds is undeniably one of Azeroth's most enchanting and eerie experiences. Whether it's tied to ancient High Elf history, the cleansing of buried evil, the Emerald Nightmare, or something entirely unknown, it remains one of the most exciting secrets this game has to offer. Another hidden gem in WoW's rich history is Old Ironforge, tucked away deep within the heart of the Dwarven capital. From vanilla to Wrath of the Lich King, the old city was shrouded in mystery and speculation, as it was something that players could not access, at least in any legitimate ways. Of course, players, being players, found exploits like glitching or clipping through terrain to sneak inside, but that would last until Kada. At the pre-launch update content for Cataclysm, a large doorway was added behind the throne in the High Seat of Ironforge. This door was leading to a long abandoned passage that opened into the ruins of the old city. Lore-wise, former King Magni Bronzebeard, in an effort to aid the trouble elementals that foreshadow the return of Deathwing, opened a part of the old city and performed an ancient ritual to commune with the earth. Tragically though, the ritual came at a great cost as Magni became one with the earth itself, turning into diamond.
For Azeroth.
And thus the old Ironforge, known as Assembly of Thanes, was temporarily used as the tomb of King Magni. But his presence there lasted only 3 expansions, as he awoke during the Legion pre-launch event to warn us about the 3rd Legion invasion. And since then he left Ironforge to continue helping Azeroth in whatever means he could. In his place now stands Advisor Belgrum to explain what actually went on. Despite Magni's absence, old Ironforge remains open to exploration, still carrying an air of mystery, especially for those who remember its once sealed-off days. Upon entering the chamber, players can explore 2 paths. One leading up to the area where the failed ritual took place, and Magni, former king of Khazmodan, was turned into diamond. And fun fact, Khazmodan, the dwarves' homeland, translates to Mountain of Khaz in their ancient language. It refers to Khazgoroth, the titan who created the dwarves. Dwarves are actually descendants of the Earthern, a race of stone-skinned beings created by the Titans to shape Azeroth's underground and maintain the world. After the Curse of Fleshdrag, the Earthen began transforming from metal and stone into mortal dwarves with flesh and blood. And while we're exploring around, I will tell you a few more interesting dwarven facts. The 3 clans once coexisted peacefully in Ironforge under the rule of High King Morimus Anvilmar. After his death, a civil war called the War of the 3 Hammers broke out, leading to the division of the clans and the Dark Iron clan's eventual exile. Fast forward a few years and Moira, daughter of Magni Bronzebeard, was abducted by Dark Irons. To her father's disbelief, she eventually fell in love and married her captor, the ruler of Dark Irons, Dagran Thorizan I. And it's not actually weird because, you see, unlike Magni, Dagran was actually treating Moira with respect, something that the Bronzebeard family never did. While she was the rightful heir to the Ironforge throne, Magni believed that a woman could not rule with the same ability as a man would be able to. Now the lower pathway descends into a twisting walkway, leading to 2 bridges, each ending at closed doors. Back to her story, Magni was infuriated that Moira was with the archenemy and sent a team to rescue her, refusing their love. This rescue mission resulted in Dagran's death, which left Moira feeling pretty devastated. She chose to stay and rule the Dark Irons instead and announced that she was in fact pregnant with her son, who will be named after her late husband Dagran. Again, fast forward a bit, before the Cataclysm, Moira returned to Ironforge with her son Dagran II and assumed the throne. She was a tyrant and committed many atrocities to the fact that late King Varian Rin was ready to kill her, but was actually spared by Anduin. Since the incident, Moira has done everything in her power to unite the Dwarven clans and has served as the Dark Iron representative on the Council of 3 Hammers. Now, instead of a single ruler, Ironforge was ruled by the Council of 3 Hammers, composed of 1 representative of each clan. That's until Dagran achieved his age of majority and is fit to lead the nation alone. Unfortunately, these doors remain inaccessible, and while some have achieved clipping through the walls, it revealed only emptiness. They don't seem to serve any real purpose other than just decoration. Of course, that doesn't mean that these rooms couldn't be utilized in the future, and I've actually discovered a few theories about what they might hold if they were ever opened. One room could be the Halls of Thanes, where the former kings of Ironforge are buried and the old throne is preserved. The other room could potentially be the resting place of the Ironforge itself, perhaps the greatest Titan artifacts ever unearthed, gifted to the dwarves by Khazgoroth. Now imagine if Blizzard were to release a Titan-themed expansion. I wonder when that could happen. Nothing comes to mind. If such an expansion were to focus on the return of the Titans, it's entirely possible we will finally gain access to the room where this legendary artifact lies waiting. Dwarven lore is incredibly rich, and what we've covered here is just the tip of the iceberg. Still, it feels quite fitting to reflect on their past while exploring the hidden chamber of old Ironforge. Have you ever wondered what Thousand Needles looked like before the shattering? Before Deathwing's cataclysm flooded the zone, this iconic area was completely different, a massive canyon instead of the watering grave we see today. In a similar vein, what about the surrounding zones? How did Feralas or the Barrens look before the cataclysmic event took place? And if you are thinking, okay Andre, you can do that in Classic, what if I tell you that you can relive that same nostalgic experience in retail too? It does require some Demon Hunter tricks, a toy, and a bit of creative clipping through invisible walls, but don't worry, it's actually really easy. So here's how it works. First of all, head to Razorfair Crawl Dungeon, and like I said, it's easier with a Demon Hunter. As you come out of the entrance tunnel, jump onto the right cliff and using double jumps and fell rush, reach as further as you can, basically until you are beneath the invincible ceiling. Now this is where it gets interesting. You'll need a Vrykul Driggin Horde or any growth potion with a cast time. Start casting it and about 3/4 of the way through, exit the game. And yeah, that's actually one of those rare moments where Alt F4 will help you, and yeah, I'm not joking. If done successfully, when you log back into the game, you'll find yourself able to move freely past the invisible wall. This horn is a warband toy learned from a rare archaeology artifact. It makes you a bit larger, which can be incredibly useful in situations like this, and it doesn't take too long to obtain either. You'll need to farm Vrykul dig sites found in Northrend, especially Howling Fjord and Icecrown, until you uncover this artifact. And huge thanks to Hidden Azeroth channel for this very nice neat trick. I found it to be one of the most professional secret channels out there, but I wanted to give it a go too, because I am no professional, and if I can do this with as little as expertise, then you can follow my steps too. Alright, so you can now move past the invisible wall, you can head up and over the dungeon walking towards the outside world. At this point you can safely jab off and glide to the ground. If you've actually turned your camera around, on your back now is the dungeon portal, though don't go very close to it as it can teleport you out and you'll have to redo the whole thing. While the location is actually the same as we came in fact we have traveled back in time now to a period where the surrounding areas remain untouched by the cataclysm yet to come. From here you can either head left into the pre-cataclysm Barrens or take the right path into Thousand Needles. Let's start off with the Barrens, and for those who joined the game post-cataclysm, here's a bit of Barrens lore. There was a time when the Barrens were nothing like what we see today. It was a lush, thriving forest tended by the Night Elves. However, after the Grey Sundering, war and disaster ravaged the land, transforming this once vibrant valley into the harsh, sun-scorched plains we now know. Before the Cataclysm, the Barrens was the largest zone in Azeroth, bordered by more zones than any other, like Ashenvale, Durodar, Duskwallow Marsh, Thousand Needles, Stone Tallow Mountains, and Malgor. The Grey Sundering was just the beginning. The Cataclysm delivered the final blow, splitting the Barrens in two and creating the northern and southern Barrens we see today, separated by the Great Divide. Once a vast, cohesive expanse, the Barrens is now a fractured war zone, a reminder of Deathwing's wrath and the intensifying conflict between the Alliance and the Horde. Someone could say that the northern and southern Barrens are but a shadow of their former glory. Now, doing a 180 turn heading toward Thousand Needle, we come across the Great Lift, an iconic torrent-built elevator that once connected the Barrens and Thousand Needles. Before flying was a thing, this massive lift was the only way to travel between the two zones. It's quite remarkable that even in this hidden version of the game, the elevator still operates flawlessly. Let's take a ride down and explore this Grand Canyon. Right off the bat, we come across a corpse of what seems to be a dwarf in its much lower resolution model. Who knows what happened to this poor soul? Perhaps he Leroy himself out of the elevator as he was eager to explore the zone? Or perhaps he stepped onto a needle? Sorry, bad joke. Fun fact, this exact skeleton still exists on live servers, but he's submerged underwater. Going deeper into the heart of the canyon, let's see what other things changed. Just a bit further down, we come upon a centaur campsite known as Camp Ethok. The centaur NPCs aren't here, but the site gives you a pretty good look of how the area used to be before the waters destroyed it. Centaurs were also one of the many residents of the original Thousand Needles. If we now go back to the central road, you can now see Feralas on the right. Let's see if there is anything else to explore on the left side though. Okay, well, not really much to explore here. The zone pretty much cuts here. And again, it's pretty unreal how much world they built for like a dungeon. This was not supposed to be seen on players' eyes, but yeah, it's actually really cool. So now if we get back on the central path and move towards Feralas, you'll see how the two zones used to transition to each other. And like, seriously, even this sign is untouchable by the time. And as you follow the path, you'll get into a mini version of Feralas. Again, pretty cool that they actually built Feralas as well. I mean, you weren't supposed to see this, I bet. But yeah, it's pretty epic and I reckon pretty nostalgic for those who played before Kada. I wouldn't know, I didn't play at the time, but please let me know if this reminds you of the old times. Reaching the end of this tiny Feralas, again you cannot go any further. Not that I try, but I mean, it seems to be pretty voidy. There's also another cool place I want to show you, and that's actually on the Feralas border, and that's Thalanar, the original Night Elf camp. This outpost had very little to offer in the way of goods and services, although it had a flight path and a leatherworking trainer. In contrast to the live servers, if you dive into the water, you can see the ruins of Thalanar. The well is gone, probably destroyed by the falling rocks during Cataclysm, and its residents actually moved to higher ground, the new Thalanar. It's incredible how seamlessly those zones used to be connected before the Cataclysm, and how drastically they have changed since. Now they're actually linked underwater, but anyways, you can fly now. And it's actually pretty cool that you can see the original path at the ground sea level. Obviously some things have changed, like that sign that I mentioned before, and it is obviously now submerged. Witnessing Thousand Needles, the Barrens and Feralas as they were before the shattering makes me truly envious of those who played actually during those early days. Of course, you can always relive those nostalgic memories in Classic, but is it truly the same? Wait a moment, did that rock just wiggle? That's quite funny. Did you know about it? I wonder if there is more wobbling rocks. Oh yeah, there's actually more. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. Yeah, I stole that from Reddit. And that about wraps up the 3 secrets I have for you today. Originally, this video was going to feature 5 secrets, but I have discovered so many fascinating things about the mysterious, unmarked zone in the Eastern Kingdoms that it absolutely deserves its own dedicated video. So stay tuned for that, it's going to be an exciting deep dive and the next chapter in this secret series. Feel free to share any insights you have in the comments down below. I'd really love to hear about your personal experiences and knowledge on these hidden gems or any other secret places in Azeroth that you might have discovered. As always, thank you so much for sticking around until the end and make sure to drop a like if you have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe for more WoW coverage and hit the bell to stay up to date. Good luck with whatever you're doing and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!